Like, if you really love the church and you really care about what happens in church, you probably should not go into professional ministry because you're going to end up doing something you're going to end up, we were talking about this before we started recording. Somehow capitalism ends up absorbing anything that enters its orbit, right?
For sure.
Professional ministry ends up coming co-opted into the capitalist narrative, and you end up doing things for reasons that they shouldn't be done, for lack of a better way of saying
Yep.
it. So yeah, I mean, we could talk for hours on pitfalls of ministry, and I think I can speak for both of us in saying we both care very deeply about the church. We care about the church in America. We care about the church in the world. And part of why we are so frustrated and so angry about it is because we do care about it, because we do see what it is called to be, what it is meant to be. And it's very frustrating to see it going in different directions. So we just want to make that clear. Like, we're not trying to dunk on the church. We're just
Oh yeah, I have no problems dunking because I am a grumpy person and I feel like I spent a lot of time, I won't even say dunking, I'll say I spent a lot of time contorting myself to be the kind of person that I thought I was supposed to be.
yeah.
I here's a story, a little anecdote that I've been thinking a lot about because the leggings conversation has come back on Twitter, which is a perennial conversation of like, am I sinning if I wear leggings? Which is, yeah,
Seriously?
yeah, it's
What these things?
I know it happens every year. People are concerned about whether women are wearing leggings as pants. I know. When I was 20, in my early 20s, 25 probably, my husband was working in ministry. He's making like, I don't know, like $30,000 a year. Like, okay. And I had like no, like hardly anybody remember though. This was like what, 2013. $30,000 went a lot further than it did in 2024. Like that.
You know what my starting
I'll say this. At one Christian organization I worked when we went to go get our mortgage for our house, the mortgage guy was like, he looked at my salary and he was like, asked my husband, he was like, I just want to like confirm, like, is there like a mistype here? This is a full-time salary. My husband was like, yeah, that it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, back in the day when my husband was making, like, I was a stay-at-home mom, my husband was making like 30K a year. Like, my point of saying that, and I have no problems, I think we should be way more transparent about salaries. It's like one of the ways that like society like loves to just mess with millennials, is making you feel shamed talking about how much money you make, which like if people knew, if somebody had told me, hey, just so you understand, this is how much money it costs, what are the things you'd like to do with your life, this is how much money it costs to take care of X number of kids effectively, and this is what you've been called to do, this job will not pay you that money, and here's why. Nobody ever explains that. I maybe perhaps would have taken a different path if somebody hadn't told me to follow my passions too many times, but whatever. I digress. The point is, he was making this money, not very much. I was a stay-at-home mom. And somebody at the church was like, hey, I have this bag of clothes for my college-age daughter she's getting rid of. Do you want this bag of clothes? And I was like, sure. And I remember getting this bag of clothes. And like the pants in there were like a little bit tighter than like what was like appropriate for church world, right? And I remember thinking like, okay, do I break the rules about like the Dave Ramsey rules, and like I don't have any money to spend on clothes, so do I break those rules, or do I break the modesty rules and wear these pants like that I can wear and they look good but they're kind of tight? And like, man, looking back at that poor 25-year-old girl who just like pushed out two babies, like her body had completely changed, she wasn't 17 anymore, and she's like worried about like, are my pants too tight because I'm breaking modesty rules, or am I going to go to Target and buy new clothes and break Dave Ramsey's rules? And oh, by the way, I can't go make more money because I'm a mom and that's my highest calling. So I guess I should just like, I don't know, try to homestead or something. And like, I don't know. And I just remember thinking like, at what point do you say, like, am I going to stand in the new heavens and the new earth? And God's going to be like, Rachel, your pants, they were just so tight and they caused so many people to stumble. I'm truly disappointed in you. Or do you think he's going to be like, I'm glad that you just put on some clothes and went outside, whether they're leggings or whatever the heck you had, and played with your kids and got engaged with them and showed up at their soccer games. Sorry, showed up at their soccer games and like did the stuff. Ugh. Like did all those things, right? I just, maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing for everyone to laugh at me for being I don't know, a Jezebel spirit at the end or whatever, but I think
Oh,
God's gonna be like, well done, good and faithful servant.
Jezebel spirit. Oh
So
my God.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think in general, I don't, I do care about the church, but I'm not as concerned anymore about contorting myself into a specific, and part of the reason I'm not concerned anymore is because I've built enough back doors in my life that if somebody says we don't want you here anymore, I'll be like, sweet, peace out, wishing you the best, all the best in your journey, hope to see you in the new heavens and new earth. I'm gonna go elsewhere and like trust God's gonna work it out. I feel like I've made the effort to build those back doors.
Yeah.